actually that struck me that I found an endearing bit of excess, because your mother was just a queen of excess, was this story about picking up shells at your parents' Malibu beach house. Can you talk about that, what you found out later?
Yes, I read about that story in my first book, Storytelling, and you know, everyone thinks, oh, Tori and her mom have this very tumultuous relationship, and we did have difficult times, but there were also some beautiful things that my mother did for me, and I write about that. She was very creative, and we had a house growing up in Malibu and right on the beach, which was amazing, and she would plant these big gorgeous shells at the end of the beach, and she'd be like, let's go, you know, seashell hunting, and she'd be like, why don't you look over there? And I'd, you know, dig a little bit, and there'd go, wow, look, Malibu Beach has great shells. Not knowing that, you know, there's nothing but like beer bottles broken up on Malibu Beach.
And actually, I found that you had something in common with your mom in this way, because I see that you want to have your kids to have a perfect childhood, but in a sort of less perfect way. You know, can you talk a bit about that?
Well, I definitely financially can't afford to give them the childhood that my parents gave me, but I do like to do what I can. I get that from my mom, very creative. You know, she likes to wrap gifts. I like to do things like that and plan parties. I'm kind of a Martha Stewart on a lesser level. And, but emotionally, you know, that's what I want to do. I want to be there for my kids emotionally, so that's something that I can do differently that maybe wasn't very prevalent in my childhood.
You talk about that, especially in terms of your daughter. You know, can you talk a bit about that, you know, in terms of your fears of being a mother of a daughter?
Because, and I'm not talking out of school, everyone knows that my mother and I have had our ups and downs in a complicated relationship, one that at this point, you know, it's taken me 35 years to come to grips with and figure out for myself what's healthy for me now that I'm a mom and a wife. And so I was fearful. When I first got pregnant, and actually I really, really wanted a daughter, and we found out we were having a son, I thought maybe this is the way it's meant to be. Maybe things repeat generation to generation, and my mom wanted to do it different, but she had a difficult relationship with her mom, and maybe, you know, the past stops here and I'm not meant to have daughters. And I love my son to death, and then I got pregnant a second time, and we found out it was a girl. And I was scared. I was completely scared to have a daughter. What if I just, you know, repeated the past? And I'm happy to say that, you know, I feel like we all make conscious choices in our life, and you know, we can't blame our past for things. We all have baggage in some form or another, and we have to make that choice to work on ourselves and work on ourselves for the future and for the future of our children. And I feel like at this point I'm not worried anymore. My daughter and I, she's only 10 months, but we have a really great relationship. We have a bond that I'm now very secure with.